In this video, we're going to look at how to trade futures on Binance. This is a very simple video, which I believe by the end of it, you'll be able to understand the steps you need to take to start trading futures on Binance. If you don't have a Binance account, you should check the description of this video. I've got a link in there which you can use to create one for yourself. My name is Alfred. If you are new here, kindly subscribe to this channel. Now, for you to be able to start trading on the futures market, you need USDT or some form of crypto to be able to do that. So I'm going to buy some. Now, for me to be able to buy crypto on this platform, I'm going to tap on the Add Funds button. Then from here, I'm going to select P2P trading. Okay, that means I'm going to buy from someone who is selling on the Binance app. Okay, now I'm going to select this first guy who has posted 11.74. That is the rate the person is willing to sell to me. Okay, so I'm going to tap on buy. Then over here, I'm going to select buy USDT, then input how much I'm willing to buy. So I want 100 USDT. Okay, now this person is willing to sell 100 USDT for me at 1,174 Ghana cedis. Of course, you can see the price the person is willing to sell 1 USDT, which is 11.74. Now I'm going to select the payment method. Over here, there is MTN mobile money. Okay, now there are some terms and conditions here that I need to read. This one says no third party. Your money would be refunded if you use third-party account for cash out, and you will lose cash out charge. I'm going to go ahead and place this order because I'm going to pay this person with my direct account. So I'm going to tap on place order. Okay, so now my order has been placed, and it says that I need to upload payment proof when it's done. Okay, I just completed the payment, so I'm waiting for this guy to release the USDT to me so we can proceed. So as you can see, the funds has been released to me and we now have 100 USDT in our account. So yes, we're going to go from here and then we're going to access the market to start trading. Okay, now if you look at the bottom of the app, you realize that from home we have markets, we have trade, and then there is also futures. The last option is assets. Okay, what we're going to do is that we are first going to tap on the futures tab to access the futures market. Okay, now from here you'll be able to trade on the futures market, but the question is how. Okay, now before you get confused, what you need to pay attention to is over here there is this BTC USDT here. If you tap on there, it will give you a full list of all of the assets that are available on the futures market on Binance. So over here, you'll be able to search any currency at all. So if you want to trade Solana, you will see SOL USDT. If you want to trade, let's say Ethereum, you will see ETH USDT. Now, from this futures market, you'll be able to trade almost any cryptocurrency available on the Binance market. Okay, you'll be able to trade Solana, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and so many other cryptocurrencies if you think about it. Now, what you need to understand is that for every currency pair, there is a code and then a base currency. So the base is mostly the currency or the asset you are trying to trade. So Bitcoin or XRP or Solana, that is the base. And then you need a code, which is what you are trying to trade with. So in this case, I just bought USDT and mostly I'm going to trade these assets with my USDT. I will now select BTC/USDT. If my asset is in USDC, then of course I'm going to select BTC/USDC. So if you tap on this drop down here, you can search BTC USDC. All right, so you can trade BTC USDC. You can try BTC USDC. The same time, you can try BTC USDT as well. Now, moving on from that, there is also something called leverage. Now, this leverage is what makes the futures market a very attractive market for a lot of people, because with this leverage, you'll be able to multiply your capital so many times and trade the market. So for example, we just deposited $100. If we want to enter a trade and we want to enter with a higher margin, or we want to enter and get a lot of profit, what we can do is that we can drag this margin all the way up to, let's say, 100, okay, and click confirm. What that means is that our $100 capital is going to be multiplied 100 times, and we'll be able to trade with that capital in the market. That is one of the advantages of the futures market. Now, the disadvantage of this model is that you can also lose your money the same way you can increase it. It means that if you start losing, the moment you lose that $100, the trade is going to close and you are going to lose all of your money. So the same way you can increase your money by using this leverage, you can also lose it by increasing the same leverage. So you need to find a sweet spot where is much comfortable based on the capital you are trading with. There is also something called margin. So if you tap right here, you see the different margin modes on the Binance Futures market. All right. Now, the first one is a cross margin. The second one is the isolated margin. Let's say you have one trade that you have lost about $100, but you have another trade that you have made about $200. It means that the one that you have lost about $100 will still be running because it will use the margin from your other trade. Okay. Now, if you switch that to isolated margin, it means that for each trade that you open on this platform, each of the trades that you have on there are going to have their own isolated margin. So if one of them is having $100 win and the other one is negative $100, the one that has a positive $100 is still going to run on its own. It's not going to have a shared margin where it's going to support the one that is in a losing position. So that is basically it with isolated and cross margin. So although we deposited $100 in our Binance account, it's still not available on our futures wallet. That is because we have to manually transfer the funds from our account into the futures wallet. Okay. So what we are going to do is that we're going to tap here and then we're going to transfer some funds from our current wallet into our futures wallet. So we're going to tap on the first one, which says spot. Then we're going to choose funding because that is where our $100 currently reside. Okay. Now we're going to tap on max to move everything from there into this account. Now I'm going to tap confirm transfer. Now we have funds in our futures wallet, so we can go ahead and start trading. But then before we place any trade, I need to explain to you this important part of the futures platform. All right. Now over here, if you tap on this drop down, you're going to see the different types of orders you can choose. Okay. Now there is a limit order, which means you can place a particular trade using a limit order, saying that when the particular asset gets to this particular price, I want to either buy or sell. Okay, so that is what limit orders are. Okay, we also have post only. There is a market order. Market orders are basically the current market price. So whatever the market price is going to give it to you. All right. There is also stop limit, stop market, trailing stop, conditional, TWAP, skilled order. These are all different types of orders, but the ones that I personally use most of the time are limit orders and then also the market order. All right. So mostly when I'm right about my analysis and I know that wherever the market is at that particular point in time is where I want to either buy or sell, I just go with the market order. However, if my analysis tells me that if the market gets to a certain price, there's a particular direction it's going to take, then I'm going to click the drop down and select the limit order. All right. Now with the limit order, I'll be able to input the price I want to either sell or buy. So we can set a limit order that when Bitcoin goes from $116,000 to $117,000, we want to place a trade. All right. Now this is a limit order. This order is going to stay on pending until the asset actually gets to that particular price. So until it gets to 117,000, the order is not going to take effect. However, we can also come down here and set our TP and SL. Now, TP means take profit, SL means stop loss. Now, this is very important. It's crucial you understand this. Without TP and SL, you are basically going to lose your money. A lot of people may gamble their way through, but I think if you want to make money from this market, it's crucial you understand this part of trading. There's nothing else guaranteed in trading aside your take profit and your stop loss. Now over here you see this green button and this red button well demarcated here. The buy option will help you buy in the market. Buy basically means that the market is going up. So if Bitcoin decides to go from 116,000 to 117,000, it means the market is buying. Now, if the market decides to go from 116,000 to 115,000, it means the market is selling. So if your analysis tells you that the market is going to go from $116,000 to $117,000, then your direction is a buy direction. If your analysis is also telling you that it's going to head towards $115,000, it means you're going to go with the sell option. All right. So basically, that's what buy and sell orders are. Over here, buy doesn't mean that you are buying Bitcoin and holding it. Sell doesn't mean that you have Bitcoin and you are selling it. You are basically trading the market based on the direction. So you're either going with the uptrend or the downtrend. Now, at this point, you understand how to place a trade and all of that. However, you don't understand how to analyze the market. So it's essential you understand analysis. There are inbuilt tools on the Binance app which you can use to analyze the market. So over here, if you tap on this particular icon, it will give you this analysis view. You'll be able to see the chart over here. Now there's a time frame here which we have 15 minutes, we have 1 hour, we have 4 hour. All right. What this basically means is that for each candle that you are seeing, if you are in the 4-hour window, each candle is formed in a 4-hour time frame. So it takes 4 hours for each one to form. If you come to 15 minutes, it means that each candle is taking 15 minutes to form. So by looking at these charts, you'll be able to tell for yourself where the market is probably going to go. But personally, I don't think looking at this chart alone will give you all of the information you need to analyze the market. That is the reason why I personally use a dedicated trading analysis tool, which helps me in making my own analysis. So over here, I've got TradingView on the desktop, which I use for all my analysis before I come on Binance to place any trade. However, inside Binance, you also find the charts view. You'll be able to analyze the market right from the app without using any third-party tool. But personally, I prefer to do all my analysis on TradingView and then only come on Binance to place my trades. Since this video is not mainly on strategy and all of that, I'm just going to click a button to just test it out so you see how it works. However, if you're interested, I'm going to make a detailed video on my strategy and how I personally analyze the market and pick my trades. So let's go back and then let's switch this from limit to market order. Okay, now let's drag this to load our account. This is using 100% of our available $100. Okay, and then we are going to place our trade. This is a very risky one because there's no analysis back in this. So let's just tap on buy. Okay, so we've placed our trade. So let's look at that. All right. So now we've made about 46 cents. As you can see right there, we have 43 cents. However, we've not set any TP or SL. I'm just leaving this to run because we are basically running a demo here. So I don't want to complicate things. However, in my other video where we're going to look at analysis and all that, we are going to go through that process. So as you can see, this is how trading on the Binance Futures market works. So if you're interested in trading futures, you have to go through all of these steps to be able to start trading on the futures market. You first need to deposit some funds in your wallet. Then from there, you need to transfer from your funding wallet or your spot wallet into your futures wallet. Now, upon doing that, you'll be able to now place trades in the market. If you are interested in my strategy video, if you are interested in me analyzing the market and showing you how I personally analyze and trade the futures market, you should first off subscribe to this channel and also subscribe to my trading channel specifically for that, because most of those videos are going to go on that particular channel.